Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the 50 top stories of the day. I'm Alison Lagrange, live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. Starting with our top stories, Israel has struck a UN school in Gaza that it said housed Hamas terrorists. While the Israeli army says 20 to 30 terrorists were killed in the operation, Gazan media says 27 people seeking shelter in the compound were slain. The Israeli military has repeatedly accused Hamas of using civilian shelters to hide. However, the Gaza government media office rejected Israel's claims that Hamas fighters were hiding in the school building. Russia has declared the United States as its enemy. Amid straining ties with Washington, the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov referred to the U.S. as an enemy state. This comes after a former American intelligence officer claimed that he was prevented from visiting St. Petersburg. He added that his passport was also confiscated by Russian border officials. In a first, a Mexican man has died of bird flu. The World Health Organization has confirmed that the man's death was caused due to a strain of bird flu called H5N2. Now, this strain has never been found in a human before. However, the WHO said that it wasn't aware of how the man contracted the infection. South Korean activists have launched balloons at North Korea. These balloons carried leaflets with anti-Pyongyang messages. They were also filled with $1 bills and USB drives containing K-pop music and K-dramas. Now, this comes after North Korea sent trash balloons towards South Korea. The South Korean activists denounced North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for not offering an apology for that action. Hong Kong has placed a blanket ban on e-cigarettes, citing concerns over the health of young people. The move came about 2 years after it banned the import, manufacture and sale of e-cigarettes and heated tobacco products. Hong Kong already bans the possession of e-cigarettes for commercial purposes. On to updates from India's parliamentary elections. Leaders of the National Democratic Alliance met yesterday after securing a majority in the country's elections. The Bharatiya Janata Party-led alliance elected Narendra Modi as their leader. This means that Narendra Modi will become Prime Minister for a third consecutive term. Meanwhile, global leaders continued to send in their wishes to Narendra Modi. US President Joe Biden, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, and French President Emmanuel Macron were among the dozens of world leaders who congratulated him on his alliance's victory. Now, reports say Narendra Modi is set to take the Prime Minister's oath for the third time on the 9th of June. Yesterday, he met India's President Draupadi Murmu to submit his resignation. Following this, Murmu also dissolved the 17th Lok Sabha, or Parliament, on the recommendation of the Union Cabinet. This is a customary practice as the Cabinet's term ends on the 16th of June. A number of global leaders are due to attend the Indian Prime Minister's swearing-in ceremony. Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe are among those who are supposed to attend. The leaders of Bhutan, Nepal and Mauritius are also likely to be invited for Narendra Modi's oath-taking ceremony. According to reports, the Elections Commission of India will hand over the list of winning candidates to President Murmu this evening. Once the list is handed over to the president, the formal process to constitute the 18th Lok Sabha will commence. Even though the National Democratic Alliance secured a majority in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the BJP's dismal performance in Maharashtra has become a concern ahead of the state polls, which are due later this year. Narendra Modi held rallies in 18 of Maharashtra's Lok Sabha constituencies. However, the BJP managed to secure only 9 seats, compared to the 23 it gained in 2019. Data from the Election Commission of India showed that the NDA failed to win in the majority of the seats where Narendra Modi campaigned. Opposition India bloc also held a meeting yesterday, which was hosted by the president of the Indian National Congress Party, Mallikarjun Kharge. After the meeting, Kharge said that the alliance has decided against staking a claim to form the government. Instead, he said that the bloc will take appropriate steps at the appropriate time. Amid elation in the opposition bloc over its performance in the parliamentary elections, there is a rising clamour over who will take the position of leader of the opposition. Within the Congress party, there are speculations that Rahul Gandhi will take over the position. In the last two general elections, the Congress failed to get the top opposition perch after it fell short of seats. Now, reports say that Chandrababu Naidu's swearing-in ceremony as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh has been pushed to the 12th of June. Earlier, he was expected to take oath on the 9th of June. The change in date likely comes due to Narendra Modi's oath-taking ceremony, which is now scheduled for the 9th of June. The Aam Aadmi Party has called for a meeting of all members of the Delhi Legislative Assembly today. The meeting will be held at Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence. The top brass of the party, including Atish Sanjay Singh and Sandeep Pathak, will attend the meeting, and this comes as Kejriwal is still in judicial custody over charges of money laundering. And in climate news, according to the United Nations, there is now an 80% chance of the world passing the 1°C climate limit. The planet can pass over this number as soon as 2028. Meanwhile, another report by the European Union said that the past 12 months have been the hottest on record. The city of Phoenix in the U.S. state of Arizona is bracing for extreme heat. Relief centers have been set up, which will provide water and act as cooling stations. The temperature touched 43 degrees Celsius yesterday and has been predicted to stay like this for the week. The marine species of the United Kingdom have been exposed to drugs like cocaine and ecstasy from sewage. Scientists also found high levels of potentially harmful chemicals in the water. This comes after illegal sewage was dumped into water streams of the UK from 2010 to 2015. Ecuador's indigenous and environmental groups stage a protest against gas flaring. A gas flare burns natural gas associated with oil extraction. They accuse the state-run oil company Petroecuador of failing to shut down gas flares. A group of residents from Amazon have also been on the hunger strike for 10 days, protesting over this issue. Now, honey hunters in Nepal are feeling the sting of climate change as the numbers of bees are declining. Climate experts say extreme weather conditions are putting stress on the bees. They are having a hard time maintaining their hive strength and honey stock. On to business and tech news. American chip manufacturer NVIDIA has become the second largest publicly listed company in the U.S. NVIDIA's share prices surged by 5% yesterday, and this helped push the chipmaker's market valuation to over $3 trillion, surpassing phone maker Apple. NVIDIA's stocks have been surging since last month. This is after the firm reported strong financial results for the first quarter of this year. Now NVIDIA ranks just below Microsoft in market valuation. The Dutch chip equipment supplier ASML has become Europe's second largest publicly listed company. The firm has taken over France's luxury fashion brand LVMH in market valuation. Yesterday, the stock price of ASML rose by over 8%, taking its market value to over $400 billion. The United States is reportedly planning to launch inquiries against 3 tech firms. Now, these include tech giant Microsoft, artificial intelligence startup OpenAI, and chipmaker NVIDIA. The country wants to probe whether these firms have violated competition laws using their market dominance. As per the report, the U.S. Justice Department will lead the investigation against NVIDIA. Meanwhile, America's Federal Trade Commission will probe Microsoft and OpenAI. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence startup xAI plans to build a supercomputer in the U.S. city of Memphis. The plan was announced by the city officials yesterday. Musk and his team have reportedly been working on the supercomputer since March. xAI is likely to use supercomputers for AI-powered tools. Boeing's Starliner space capsule lifted off from the U.S. state of Florida yesterday. The Starliner capsule was launched atop an Atlas V rocket with 2 astronauts aboard. Now, this is Starliner's first crewed test flight. Last month, the flight was delayed a couple of times due to technical issues. Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun has been asked to testify before a U.S. Senate panel on the 18th of June. Calhoun will be grilled over a series of issues the plane maker has been facing. Boeing's aircrafts have been involved in several mishaps this year, and this has raised scrutiny over Boeing's jet quality. The Indian stock market rose almost 1% during the trading session today. Sensex rose over 580 points to touch the 75,000 mark, while the Nifty was trading at 22,800 level. This comes as Narendra Modi is set to take oath for Prime Minister for the 3rd time. Meanwhile, a new stock exchange is set to be launched in the United States. The TXSE Group has announced plans to launch the stock exchange in Dallas City. It will be named the Texas Stock Exchange. TXSE Group plans to register the exchange with the U.S. market regulator later this year. Currently, the U.S. stock market is dominated by the New York Stock Exchange. Now, Canada has become the first G7 country to reduce its benchmark interest rates in the last 4 years. The country's central bank, Bank of Canada, cut interest rates from 5% to 4.75% yesterday. The Bank of Canada said that inflation in the country has eased and is likely to ease further. Central banks around the world hiked interest rates to tackle sky-high inflation after the COVID pandemic. Now, Germany has announced plans to reduce income tax burden on households. German finance minister has said that they aim to cut income tax worth $25 billion by 2026. The proposal includes increasing the tax-free allowance for low-income households. It also includes raising the tax brackets for middle-income taxpayers. Moving to sports, and we start with cricket. India defeated Ireland by 8 wickets as they began their T20 World Cup campaign yesterday. Indian bowlers put in a combined effort to bowl out Ireland for a total of just 96 runs. Hardik Pandya and 3 wickets to his name, while Arshdeep Singh and Jasprit Bumrah picked 2 wickets each. And Uganda beat Papua New Guinea to earn their first win at the T20 World Cup. This as the Cricket Cranes made their debut at a major global event in any cricket format. Uganda won a hard-fought match by chasing 78 runs with 3 wickets and 10 balls remaining. Meanwhile, Australia overcame an early wobble to beat Oman comfortably by 39 runs. Australia posted 164 for 5 in 20 overs, with David Warner and Marcus Stoinis scoring 56 and 67 runs respectively. They next play against England on Saturday. Meanwhile, David Warner etched his name into the history books. This was after he surpassed former captain Aaron Finch to become the highest run scorer for Australia in the T20I format. Warner has 3,155 runs in 104 matches to his name, surpassing Finch's tally of 3,120, which he had racked up in 103 matches. In football, the Indian football captain Sunil Chhetri will play his last international match today. India will face Kuwait at the Salt Lake Stadium in the city of Kolkata. Chetri had announced his retirement on the 16th of May, and today's game marks the end of his nearly 2-decade-long international football career. Chelsea will turn down any loan moves for Romelu Lukaku this summer, and that's because they want to sell the Belgian striker in a permanent deal. Chelsea are looking to recoup some of the $124 million they paid Inter Milan for Lukaku in 2021. Their current asking price is reportedly around $47 million. Roma are interested in signing Lukaku, but are reportedly unable to meet the asking price. Meanwhile, reports say that AC Milan and Napoli are also interested in Lukaku. Amnesty International has urged FIFA to assess the human rights records of the host countries for the upcoming World Cups. Amnesty wants FIFA and the host nations to agree to binding commitments and legal reforms to prevent human rights violations. Saudi Arabia is the sole bidder for the 2034 tournament. Amnesty says the Gulf Kingdom has an appalling human rights record. In tennis, Russian teenager Mira Andreeva claimed the biggest win of her career after defeating world number 2 Aryna Sabalenka. The 17-year-old beat Sabalenka 6-7, 6-4, 6-4 to reach the semi-finals of the French Open. Andreeva is now the youngest Grand Slam semi-finalist since Martina Hingis at the US Open in 1997. Germany's Alexander Zverev reached the French Open semi-finals for the 4th consecutive year. This was after he defeated Australia's Alex de Minaur in the quarters. Zverev beat de Minaur 6-4, 7-6, 6-4, and he will now face Casper Ruud in the semi-final. And reports say that the NBA is closing in on media rights deals with networks like NBC, ESPN, and Amazon. This is expected to generate about $76 billion in media revenue over 11 years. Comcast-owned NBC would reportedly pay an average of $2.5 billion a year to show around 100 NBA games per season. And in entertainment news, rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, has become synonymous with controversies. His former assistant has accused him of sexual harassment, breach of contract, and wrongful termination. The complainant is demanding a compensation of $3 million. Ye's team has called the accusations baseless. American rapper Sean Kingston has been released from jail on a bond of $100,000. Reports say he was able to use his mortgage as collateral. Kingston and his mother were charged with committing more than $1 million of fraud in California. The duo stole jewelry and cash. 26-year-old Swedish rapper e-cig has been shot dead in a gang war. According to police, the shooting incident took place in a parking lot. A murder inquiry has been launched now, and it has been linked to a gang conflict. Last month, Gambino was named the country's hip-hop artist of the year. And singer Halsey revealed on social media that she has been diagnosed with lupus and T-cell disorder. She wrote that the diagnosis came in 2022. Halsey is managing both diseases with the help of her doctors. However, she feels at a much better place now. Marvel star Evangeline Lilly has decided to quit acting. She took to Instagram to state that she had been thinking of quitting for the last 2 decades. Lilly stated that she's filled with joy over her decision to step away. She added in the end that she might return one day. Actor and producer Michael B. Jordan, in an interview, stated that his team is still working on the script of I Am Legend 2. The filming will not begin anytime soon. I Am Legend 2 is the sequel to Will Smith's 2007 blockbuster film, and Smith has decided to reprise his role. Actor Nicole Kidman revealed that Season 3 of Big Little Lies is in good shape. She said in an interview that the team is moving fast and furious. Kidman previously said that her daughter is responsible for the 3rd season. Now, the premiere of Orphan Black: Echoes took place in Hollywood City. Christian Ritter plays the lead in the show and is also the executive producer of the film. The film will premiere on the 23rd of June. Toni Collette has joined the cast of Netflix's limited series Wayward. She will play the character of Leanne in the show. The series has been described as a thriller set in a sinister town. The story will follow the lives of people from different generations. Now, according to reports, Kate Middleton may never come back to her royal duties. Kate is now evaluating what she should do, and her new roles will be based on medical advice. She is undergoing preventative chemotherapy for cancer at the moment. And that's all on today's episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.